good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. And if it's the first time you are joining us and this is the last session for today, welcome. All right. So if you guys can hear me, I'm Alex here. All right. So please type the letter A on the chat box so that I know everything is okay. So before we kickstart the last session of today, right, just want to do a quick announcement. We just want to thank our sponsors, Pepperstone's SG Securities, also known as SocGen and Tokenized Exchange, to make this event possible. And do remember, right, to like our Facebook page and our Telegram channel. Do subscribe to our Telegram channel. So it's very easy. Just search for this our name, marketwise Asia, and you should be able to find that to get the latest market updates, the price mover, and interesting market news. All right. So for the best experience, right, you should watch this on your laptop via Chrome and ensure that you have a stable Wi-Fi. I understand some of you might have issue experiencing the streaming. So there's a reconnect button at the top of the screen. All right. Just click on that and it should work. And worst come to worst, right, just exit the browser and just re-enter via the link again. And just one more thing over here, and we have the next session, next Market Insights Virtual Summit in March 27 and 28, all right, 2021, and we've invited Rainer Teo, right? He's the #1 most followed trader in Singapore. He has more than 700,000, right, followers, subscribers on his YouTube channel. Do remember to sign up for the next event, and for this event, right, if you sign up today, right, you get to attend this webinar by Colin Sell, how to look for insider buying that is worth $697. And we will base on your sign up date and complete this webinar for you to qualify for this attendance for this webinar. All right. So yeah, and the next speaker, right, is Chris Long, and he'll be sharing with you how to decode cryptocurrency. All right. So before I get really started, just let me do a quick introduction of Chris over here. And give me a moment over here. Okay, so Chris holds a Master of Applied Finance from the Singapore Management University, SMU, and is the sole recipient of the 2015 Columbia Threadneedle Investment Scholarship, right? This means that he's very smart, okay? He's been working in the banking industry as an investment banker before starting CryptoTrader.sg in 2017. And Chris has a knack for simplifying the complex, identifying trends in the market, and offering investment insights. And as a former banker, right, he was part of the team that originated numerous high-profile deals, such as the Crucius 50 million tap of existing 2020 bond and the HDB 2026 600 million bond. And Chris started researching into cryptocurrencies in the mid-2016. And started investing in early 2017. All right. Since then, he has reaped outsized returns in a very short period of time. And Chris now makes it his business to share his knowledge and to help others achieve the same level of success in investing. He has been featured in Money 89.3 FM, Channel 8, and maintains one of the largest cryptocurrencies groups in Singapore. And he has more than 500 students that have graduated from his course. So, right, okay, let's welcome Chris on board now. Over to you, Chris. Are you there? Ah, okay, fantastic. Can you hear me? Okay, I think there's some technical issue, Chris. You want to exit again?
Oh, okay. Hey,
okay,
actually,
okay, I can hear you.
So it's not. I muted my microphone.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, hi everyone. To the 400 plus of you over here, you must have had a long day, but I believe that it has been a very productive day for you guys. So I have the privilege to be the final speaker for today, and I want to talk about cryptocurrency. So I think some of you guys might have attended maybe some classes or some introduction classes I've done before, but for today's session, I actually did something from scratch. So it's going to be brand new. It's not going to be like an introduction class, but rather it could be maybe like one step higher. And I hope that you guys will be able to learn something from it lah. Yeah, so a big hi to all of you guys, LW, Nai, Libun, for you guys. Thank you for speaking out in the chat group as well. To the rest of you guys, I'm just really curious to find out how many of you here, right? You already have Bitcoin in your portfolio? If you already have Bitcoin in your portfolio, can you type in Bitcoin? If you do not have Bitcoin yet, could you type in not yet? Yeah. What do you guys have? Actually, you know what? Maybe let me do a poll. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do a poll right now. And then after that, y'all can actually do a chat. And then we can see out of the 465 of you guys, how many of you actually already own Bitcoin. Okay, so if you head over to the poll on the right, we are able to see from this 468 of you, how many of you guys have Bitcoin and how many of you guys do not have it yet. I think this will be quite an interesting one. Yeah, so from here, I will be able to have a sensing about, roughly, investing community, how many of you guys have actually purchased and started. So if you click over right now, you can see the numbers trickling in. About 30% of you guys already have Bitcoin, and 69% of you do not have it yet. So I would say that even within the investing community, the most active learners, right? The most interested learners, the guys who are willing to sign up for a cryptocurrency talk, only 30% of you guys actually started your journey. It is my estimation right now that in the markets, I think roughly maybe 2% of the world might have started and have purchased Bitcoin. I would say that 98% have not started their investing journey yet. So for me, it is pretty exciting, because if this is an asset class that can garner more adoption, garner more interest over the next 2 to 3 years, it will be probably one of the best risk to reward return investment out there. In my opinion, it's just a personal opinion, not financial advice. Yeah. So today, right, I want to share on this topic, which is called decoding cryptocurrency. Okay. So in the last 2 months, if you have been following crypto, you would have known that we have had a very good end to 2020 and a very exciting start to 2021. So every day when I wake up and refresh my portfolio, I'm looking at new all-time highs for my portfolio USD value. What has happened, or the narrative behind cryptocurrency in 2020, or I should say the narrative behind Bitcoin in 2020, is institutional adoption, meaning to say we are seeing the first batch of institutions really begin to come into the cryptocurrency, or should I say the Bitcoin space. So let's find out why institutions now buy Bitcoin and how cryptocurrencies can boost your portfolio growth. All right, so these are the topics that I want to try and achieve today. I think Alex have very quickly introduced me. So in short, I used to work as an investment banker, and my specialization was in the debt capital markets. So what I did is help companies issue bonds, and then I'm in the origination team. So we will speak to your UOBs or your first REITs, etc., and then we'll help them structure a bond, and after that, we'll bring it to market. So what's a little bit different, I think Alex didn't share with you, is my cryptocurrency journey. So let me share a little bit with you on that. Now, I started out back in 2016. So in 2016 was my first investment into Bitcoin and Ethereum. When I bought Bitcoin, it is 4 digits. In fact, it is 3 digits in US dollars term. I bought Bitcoin when I think it was about 800 US dollars. Am I sharing my screen? Okay. It was about $800. And Ethereum, I think, was 2 digits when I bought it. So that was in 2016. And entering into 2017, I started to get involved in this thing called ICOs. Can you guys see this? So an ICO is called an initial coin offering. And initial coin offerings during those times was when people come up with these new cryptocurrencies, and then you're able to buy it the moment it was created or the moment it is created. So aside from Bitcoin, aside from Ethereum, there's actually thousands and thousands of cryptocurrencies out there. And the way these new cryptocurrencies come about is through ICOs. So in 2017, I went into that, and it was really good returns, right? I remember buying this coin called Zilliqa. It was I only put in a couple of $100, and when it listed, it was valued at 35,000, and it was not a rare occurrence in 2017. So that was a good year. But eventually in 2018, this market crashed like the tulip mania. Okay, that's another story for another time. All right. In 2017 as well, we started our cryptocurrency training program. We were one of the first to have started it. 2018 was when I started to use derivatives and options on cryptocurrency. For those of you who are not aware, you can actually use derivatives on cryptocurrency like options. So once again, I won't have time to talk about options today. And if we have the chance, we will talk about it at another session. So 2019, right, was the peak of the bear market. It was a very, very bad year for us, both as an investor as well as a cryptocurrency trainer. So eventually, during that time, I think at the peak, we had like maybe 10 over trainers doing crypto. But by 2019, I think we were one of few left. Gritted our teeth and survived on. In the same year, we started to embark on the learning of this thing called proof of stake and advanced passive income strategies. And last year, 2020, was a breakthrough year for us because we were very fortunate, or I was very fortunate to have gotten started early in this thing called yield farming and decentralized finance. So that's a very hot, unknown segment of cryptocurrency in 2020. And same thing, it did quite well for me. So one of the trades I've done, Bitcoin 890, that was in April 17. Right now it's 34,000. I actually literally did this presentation on Thursday or Wednesday, and right now Bitcoin is actually sitting at 40,000. So it's gone up by an additional 20% since then. Annualized return about 300 plus. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what is going on in the world, right? I mean that there must be a reason why Bitcoin can jump from 34,000 2-3 days ago to 40,000 today. And at a macro landscape, you might have heard this from the other speakers, I'm not sure, but it's a well-known fact that in the macro landscape, right, we are in a very loose environment, a very loose monetary environment. The Federal Reserve have committed, right, to buy at least $120 billion of bonds every single month. So right now, okay, they are doing roughly 80B in treasuries and 40 billion in mortgage-backed securities. Now, look at this chart over here, okay? And the green color one is reflective of how many percentage of GDP, okay, how many percentage of GDP does this bond buying program cover? Whereas the black one represents the total assets in dollar value. So you can see that from 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, right? The Fed's actually been doing not too bad. The economy has been doing not too bad, right? You can see that the bond buying has actually been declining, right? But in 2019, what happened? COVID, yeah? So because of that, or rather towards the end, sorry, not in 2019, 2020 is when COVID, there's a huge spike. So 2019, they start to taper up again. But in 2020, COVID happened, and there was a huge spike over here as the Federal Reserve came in to save the market economy. It just jumped from 4 billion to 7 billion in a couple of months. And right now, it consists of about 34% of GDP. So it's kind of like, I'm not sure if you guys have know of this guy called Ray Dalio. He actually wrote a series of great articles about the changing world power. And one of the indicators in history where a world power is about to change is something like this. This is one of the signs where the existing world power, to maintain their influence, right, they need to start to use a certain kind of financial manipulation, because they are like the world's base currency, right? The reserve currency. Facts, right now, US is the reserve currency of the world. And because of that, they have certain advantages. Like they can print money without causing their currency to massively devalue. So they have this ability to print money, unlike many other countries. So historically speaking, like if you go back in time and look at the Roman Empire, the Roman Empire did similar things like this towards the end of their empire. And we are beginning to see snippets of such thing happening in the US as well. So when someone buys Bitcoin, or when the institutions buy Bitcoin, one of the thoughts that they might be having, or most likely they are having, is that what if one day the US currency is no longer the de facto currency of the world? There's a shift, right? A transfer or a transition from one world power to another. And as a result, how do you hedge against such a transition? Because in the last 100, 200 years, we have not seen such a power transition. Although if you go back in history for thousands of years, these transitions in power are actually quite frequent. So during such transitions, right, what's the best course of action? A few things that you can do lah, or a few things that the markets believe that you can do. Number one, you can buy gold. Gold is a hard asset. It has been around for thousands of years, used as a store of value. Gold is potentially one way, right, to protect your value during such a big event. The other one, or the other narratives that's happening right now, is potentially Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not controlled by a government. Bitcoin is not controlled by a particular company. It is decentralized. It is handled by all these miners or servers around the world. So you can almost say that it is kind of apolitical, yeah. So that is one of the things at the backdrop that we are seeing. Because the US has been printing so much money, US dollar has basically underperformed, right? So if you look at this chart, this is how the dollar has performed since 17 all the way to 20. So you can look at the color lah, right? The gray, the blue, the brown, and the bolded one is 2020. So we have seen a weakening of the US dollar. In fact, since December, right, the dollar index, which measures the currency against other major currency, it traded below 90 for the first time in more than 2 years. If you check the Sing dollar to US dollar right now, I think it's like 1.32, right, as compared to 1.4 in the mid of the year in 2020, or maybe May 2020. So US dollar is weakening, right? Whereas gold and other hard assets, they have actually been performing quite well. From last year, January 2020, as you can see over here, to this year, January 2021, if you see Dow Jones, for example, the Q1, it has gone up by 6.8%. Gold, another hard asset, gone up by 23.4%. My dad's really pleased about it. Oil has gone down, economy is back. And Bitcoin, towards December, have obviously outperformed every other asset class, which is up at 300%, right? So this is what the markets, what's currently happening overall in the markets. Guys like institutions and funds that have come in 2020 includes companies like DBS, MicroStrategy, Square, PayPal, and we have our fund managers as well. Funds, legendary fund manager Paul Tudor Jones, Mass Mutual, Guggenheim Investments, and in fact, the S&P is actually has actually announced that there is going to be a crypto index that's going to be launched this year. So you can see over here are some of the articles that I've actually cut and pasted. For example, Visa has quietly won to crypto along with PayPal and Square. Then the hedge fund manager, sorry, not the guy, but hedge fund manager Paul Tudor Jones has expressed the bull case for Bitcoin as well. So in case you didn't know, in Singapore, DBS have started a cryptocurrency exchange. Yeah. And MicroStrategy not only invested their treasury into Bitcoin, they actually raised 650 million and is investing that in Bitcoin as well. And today I just read that I think Morgan Stanley, one of the banks, have increased their purchase or their ownership into MicroStrategy. So it's almost like MicroStrategy can actually be like a quasi play onto Bitcoin. So when you buy MicroStrategy stocks, you are indirectly owning a Bitcoin as well. So Dow Jones, this was the one that I talked about. The Dow Jones this year is going to launch a cryptocurrency index. And I think that this will be really interesting. So most likely what's going to happen, I feel like one of the ways that you can play this is to just every single day, right, just monitor the Dow Jones announcements and see what are the cryptocurrencies that are included in this index. So if you can be one of the first few to see the currencies that's in this index, you can just basically buy it off the market, because most likely, personal opinion, not financial advice, most likely those crypto that's included inside will jump lah. For sure, Bitcoin will be inside. I'm 90% sure that Ethereum will be inside. I'm also 90% sure that Ripple will not be inside. For the rest, I don't know. We have to just kind of keep an eye out for this. Okay, so let's talk about why institutions are actually coming in. There are a few narratives that are at play here. So first of all, the first narrative is that Bitcoin is a non-sovereign and inelastic currency that is uncorrelated to any asset. So how many things? There are 3 points here, okay, that I want to talk about. There's 3 points in this first point of why institutions are coming in. So okay, I talk a lot. I'm gonna throw it back to you guys. Tell me in the chat, right, in this one sentence, what is the 3 things that people are looking for? Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys answer that while I prepare my phone to type something later. Okay, so I want to use my phone to draw some stuff. So when I'm looking at this PowerPoint, I cannot see the chat, right? So I'm gonna move over to the chat right now to see what are your answers. In this line, what are the 3 things, okay, that institutions look out for? Okay, so let's see. All right. Wow, a lot of questions. Later, I shall try to answer the questions, okay? Okay, fantastic, William, right? So first thing is that there is diversification. Hedge and US dollar weakening. No. Okay. Yes, non-sovereign. Yeah, Luciana got it. Inelastic and uncorrelated. Very good. Yeah, and all those others, SP, Boon Ong. Okay, very, very good. You guys got it. So once again, let me share. Now, here's the thing. First of all, a lot of Bitcoin investors like that it is non-sovereign. Non-sovereign means that it doesn't belong to a country. While decisions by country can affect the price of Bitcoin, you can't outrightly just it's very difficult to outrightly just stop and seize everything. Second is inelastic, meaning that in Bitcoin, it is, you cannot expand it. You cannot just print more of it as you want to. And third, the thing that I like most is that it's uncorrelated. If you go online to use some tools to track what is the correlation with Bitcoin and all other asset classes, right? Because when you do diversification in finance, basically you want to make the correlation zero. or in some cases, when someone wants it inverse, you want it -1. But zero is good for diversification. And Bitcoin is one of the closest to zero out there. Okay. So when I go into cryptocurrency investing, I must remember that overall I still have my other asset classes. I have my stocks, my REITs, I have my trading portfolio, for example. I have my property in Singapore, US stocks, Singapore stocks. So of course, all of them move according to price in a differing manner. But if there's a black swan event, right? For example, like really, let's say US politics screws up, or there's a transition of power, or maybe even COVID, right? So I want something that is really uncorrelated with everything else, S&P, NASDAQ, even the Japanese stock market, the Nikkei. So that is one of the reasons why I have Bitcoin in my portfolio, within my portfolio. The second, right, is that you are actually doing an innovation play. You're doing an innovation play. Meaning to say, when we buy stocks like Tesla, like perhaps Google, AI-related companies, we are kind of buying into technology sector. You know what I'm trying to say? When we buy into technology sectors like Tesla or NEO, the EV narrative, there's no cash flow. The numbers in terms of value investing doesn't make sense at all in Tesla. Even in companies like Amazon, even at this point of time, these are not dividend companies that pay you money from its profits or cash flow from its profits. You are buying into a growth company, right? Or Airbnb, you're buying into a growth company, a technology-driven growth company. So they are very, or they are the opposite of safe haven, right? You guys know where I'm coming from? When you buy into a technology growth company, they are the opposites of buying treasuries, of buying gold as a safe haven. So when you buy Bitcoin, you are kind of betting on the innovation of blockchain or the adoption of blockchain related innovations happening. But the beauty of it is that Bitcoin is also seen as a safe haven by the markets in a weird sort of way, right? If you track back, there are certain periods where there's instability in the market. The price of Bitcoin actually went up. Like when Kim Jong-un wanted to do some nuclear strike, the price of Bitcoin went up. So it's really weird because then Bitcoin behaves like a safe haven asset, but yet people buy into it because it's innovative. It's something that the millennials, they are intrigued by. Blockchain, cryptocurrencies, a non-sovereign internet economy kind of thing. And that is tech driven. That is like a new paradigm. So Bitcoin just kind of sits in the middle of both, safe haven and innovative technology, which is why I love it. I mean, at least for me, that's how I think lah, which is why I'm so passionate about crypto as well. At this point of time, right, at this juncture, if someone comes to me and say, Chris, Bitcoin is a scam, it's a Ponzi scam. I don't know what to think, man. I think that there can be no I think that stigma is slowly just dying off already, because if DBS can come out with a cryptocurrency exchange, surely there must be some level of credibility, at least in Bitcoin. For the other cryptocurrencies, I don't know, but at least in Bitcoin. Now, the third thing on why institutions are coming in is that instead of just thinking about Bitcoin as one asset class, we have to observe what are the things that's building around Bitcoin, right? A lot of people say, why can't some cryptocurrency come and just challenge Bitcoin and replace it? And I say it can potentially. Anyone can create a cryptocurrency, but you and I can create a cryptocurrency. But if you create a brand new cryptocurrency, number one, how are you going to get custodians to support your cryptocurrency? Number 2, how are you going to get exchanges to list your cryptocurrency? Number 3, how are you going to get wallets that support your cryptocurrency? And number 4, how are you going to get institutions, funds to come in and say, hey, this cryptocurrency is really good. I want to buy some of that because I think that it is widely recognized. Number 5, how do the people around know about this currency? How long has it existed? Does it have credibility? So you see, it is not just the fact about this blockchain technology or Bitcoin as a crypto, but it is also about all the other things around it that makes Bitcoin what it is, including institutional grade infrastructure. For example, custodians, hedge funds, mutual funds, banks, they don't want to control their wallet. They don't want to put like hundreds of millions of dollars into like a hardware wallet like this. They want custodians with insurance, with protocols in place to hold Bitcoin for them, so that they call these custodians and then they say, please sell or please buy. And right now, there are more and more custodians, really institutional grade ones, that are coming in, that has been formed, that will be holding Bitcoin as an asset. Second is that there are major banks, asset managers as well, that are launching new institutional grade of crypto products and services, whether it is the ability to buy and sell, whether it is the ability to transfer, whether it is research reports that you can get on crypto. All these are now actually available, right? I do know for a fact that private banks have started to produce research reports for their high net worth individuals talking about cryptocurrency. So guys like Coinbase, Standard Chartered, Northern Trust, these are some of the institutions that are actually coming in. So the stigma around Bitcoin is really changing. Yeah. Right now, the narrative for Bitcoin is an inflation hedge, number one, because the governments around the world, and mostly the US government, they are printing a lot of money. Number two is a bet against the US dollar. Remember earlier on, I talked about that transition of power. So if US dollar loses its dominance, which I personally think won't be so fast, yeah, but people like to prepare for it early, that's a bet against it. Yeah, then the change of world order, and of course, one of the narratives for Bitcoin is that this is simply an emerging trend, right? Why do people, let me ask you guys a question. Why did the share price for Tesla go up so much last year? Can someone answer me? Why did the share price of Tesla go up so much this year? Yeah, I don't know if any of the earlier speakers talked about Tesla. Maybe they shared some insights. Why did Tesla go up so much? Let me see if anyone answer that. Anyone? Why did Tesla go up so much last year? Anybody have an answer? Okay, I see now. Because of Elon Musk, new trend, FOMO, chicken genius. Yeah, I think that chicken. Hey, okay, Ben actually picked on something, all right, and I really want to highlight this. By the way, I love chicken genius. If you happen to be here and you ever want to do coffee, please let me know. I would love to have coffee with you. But Ben picked on something really interesting here. Right now, a lot of investors, where do they go for investment making decisions? In the past, it's brokers, right? They go to the banks, they believe bankers are really smart. But do you know that nowadays, right, an influencer on TikTok or an influencer like Chicken Genius, right, or any of these investors around the world, they have enough gathering, enough influence. When they recommend a stock, they bring awareness to the stock. And when there's awareness and this stock and what they say actually builds that trust and credibility, right, it actually affects the stock market. It affects the value of that particular stock. So the world is changing already. It is not simply about a broker or research house giving you credible reports. Anyone on the street who makes a compelling case on YouTube, they actually can potentially influence markets a little bit as well. Now, let's bring that back to crypto. When you look around you, what do you see? Do you see advocates and evangelists for crypto? Do they go around sharing about what Bitcoin is free of charge? They just do it on their Facebook, on their YouTube, and they're just evangelizing against it for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Now, you must take that into account as well in your consideration for an investment. Who advocates for General Electric? Who advocates for McDonald's these days? Are they still strong advocates for people to buy these stocks? Because it's like that, right? It is as money moves from my dad's generation to my generation, who are the people or what are the stocks and investment vehicles that I am aware of, that I'm thinking about? And it is influenced by the advocates and the evangelists of these investments out there. So one way to think about crypto as well is, are there people evangelizing for the adoption, for the awareness, for the investment of crypto? That is one thing you need to take note of. Yeah, so Ben, that's really good. Yeah, okay, so oil wars, yeah, very good. Really, really good reason. Emerging trends, EV is the big trend, Tesla is the leader. Yeah, so trend and growth story is really very powerful. Yeah, Biden, quite pro green tech, right? So okay, let's come back. So that was my point about the emerging trend lah. EV, space exploration, AI, self-driving vehicles are some examples of emerging trends. I think to me, blockchain and crypto is an emerging trend as well. Yeah. So how is Bitcoin scarce? Oh my God, 5 o'clock already. Okay, let me see if I can. Am I sharing my screen? Okay, let me try and speed up a bit. I'll try and let me see if I can. Screen mirroring, MacBook Pro. Are you all able to see this? Okay.
The 4143.
Yeah, okay, good. So I just want to use my phone to draw if it's possible. Okay, great. So let's see if this works. All right, so how is Bitcoin scarce? Now, the first thing that I want you to know, right, is that there's a total supply of 21 million Bitcoin out there. This is fixed, okay, guys? And of this, right, about 18, currently based on today's date, about 18 plus million is already out in the market. It's already out in the market. So for Bitcoin, right, how these 18 plus million comes about is through the process of mining. I don't have time to talk about it, but you just remember at the back of your mind, it's through mining. And essentially what mining does is that they are maintaining the blockchain network. They are maintaining the Bitcoin blockchain network. So you can think of them as servers around the world. So you have some in Singapore, you have some in US, you have some in Japan, you have some in China, you have some in Russia, you have some in India. And all these Bitcoin mining rigs are interconnected to one another, right? They are interconnected to one another. So meaning to say that it is like a whole network that is supporting one another, so that in the event that one part breaks down, there is this whole other Bitcoin mining network that is maintaining all the transactions at the networks that's happening. Now, Number two, okay, why is it scarce is that this 19 plus million, 18 plus million, right? Ignore. That is already out in the market. It actually represents, right, more than 80% or 85% of all Bitcoin that will ever come into existence. 80+% already. And the remaining 15%, I mean, it's less than that. I just don't have the math off my head. So the remaining 50% that is not yet in the system, that's not yet released into the world, it will take about 120 years for the remainder to be released. Yeah. So if I were to draw a chart, of how the supply looks like, it's like that. And there's probably only this much that is remaining. The rest is all listed out already. And a portion of that, that means all this here that's listed out, a portion of that is probably lost forever. Meaning to say we have the early miners who mine, a lot of them might have lost their computers, or Satoshi actually owns like 1 billion Bitcoin and it's not going to move anywhere, right? So meaning to say it is estimated, right, that there is maybe only like less than 10 million that is being circulated around the world, less than 10 million Bitcoin that's being circulated around the world. So the idea is that, let me see, the idea is that Bitcoin is scarce, right? Because there's no way to produce more of it. The new ones that's coming out is coming out slower and slower. It's going to take 140 years for the rest to come out. Early Bitcoin miners might have potentially lost all their Bitcoin, and once it's lost, there's no way to retrieve it. So what's circulating in the market now is actually pretty limited and pretty scarce. So because of that, right, even small increases in demand would actually push up the price of Bitcoin. Yeah. So that in essence is Bitcoin. And I don't have too much time, so I want to quickly touch on this other thing called Ethereum as well. I cannot see the chat group, but I think you guys might have some questions which I will answer it towards the end of class. Okay. So over here, I want to talk about Ethereum because Ethereum is the second biggest cryptocurrency that is out there right now. The description of Ethereum is that it is a global decentralized platform for money and new kind of application. Things like decentralized app, stable coins, and of course, decentralized finance. So for Bitcoin, right, the narrative of Bitcoin is kind of like digital gold. There's only so much, you can transfer it around, it is limited, everybody wants to have some. So that's Bitcoin, straightforward. Ethereum is a little bit more unique because Ethereum, as a blockchain, you can build things on it. You can code things on it, right? And we call them smart contracts. So meaning to say on the Ethereum blockchain, with the same idea that is decentralized, distributed, many miners are maintaining it. The idea is that you can actually build certain criteria and code it into Ethereum, and everyone needs to follow these rules as long as they are interacting on the Ethereum network, which is really cool because this means that, like for example, in decentralized finance, you can do things like lending protocols, right? You can do things like lending protocols, meaning to say right now, if let's say you want to borrow money, right? You want to borrow money, you have a house, you want to borrow money, you mortgage it to a bank. You guys know where I come from? You mortgage it to a bank and then the bank will give you cash, correct? But you need to go through the paperwork, etc., etc., etc. Imagine you have Bitcoin. Let's say you have 1,000 Bitcoin, you are a millionaire. People say, oh, but Bitcoin is useless. But what if what if you can deposit Bitcoin into an application? This application is not controlled by a human, meaning to say they cannot run away with your money. It is all coded onto the Ethereum blockchain. You deposit it into Ethereum blockchain. For example, I'm not saying you can. Actually, you can. You need to wrap your Bitcoin into an Ethereum-based token, and then can deposit it into this protocol on Ethereum. And then after you deposit, right, you can borrow US dollars from it, and you can spend the US dollars. And your Bitcoin is basically locked up in this lending protocol, and you pay interest on it. But everything is automated. You don't need to go through a banker. You don't need to go through paperwork. You just do everything on Ethereum on the internet. How cool is that? And it already exists, just that people don't know it yet. You can already deposit your crypto assets on certain applications on Ethereum, and you can use that as a collateral to borrow other assets. So there's this entire world that's being built on Ethereum right now, right under your eyes, just that you have no idea. Most people have no idea about it. They still think that tokens and all that is a speculative instrument from 2017. I mean, I don't deny that everything that can be invested can be used as speculation and is a speculative instrument. But yet at the same time, there are things that are being built that are actually useful. But most people will not see it because they have a certain stigma towards maybe ICOs already from the past. So anyway, one of the cool things in 2020 happened last year is this thing called yield farming. How much time do I have? Okay, I'll wrap it up soon. It's called yield farming, and in essence, yield farming is kind of like a new form of ICO, new form of distribution for tokens. So for us as crypto farmers, what we want to do is we want to get yield, right? And it is interest and rewards generated from crypto assets. So for example, at an institutional level in the past, you have these guys called market makers. Are you familiar with market makers? They are the ones who buy, sell to kind of make price on the markets. And these market makers, right, they profit by providing liquidity. Okay, for you traders, you might be familiar with this. So they provide liquidity and they are given some fee or remuneration from it. In the world of the traditional traditional finance, right? Not everyone can be a market maker. For you to be a market maker in traditional finance, you need to have a huge book. You need to have a huge sum of money. You need to have a huge inventory of the particular asset. For example, if I want to market make for a first rate bond, I need to have a huge amount of first rate bond, and I need to have a counterparty. I need to have connections so that every time I market make, I can make a bit off the trade. In traditional markets, usually you need to be like a bank or like professional market makers to do that. Now, in the world of crypto, because everything can be automated and programmed onto the blockchain already, right? Anyone can now provide liquidity and be a market maker. Anyone, even a guy like me, I can go onto the crypto markets. I can go onto Ethereum, some place like Uniswap, and I can provide two different assets, and I can be part of market making, right? So for example, I give an example, which is Uniswap. One other thing is that protocols, right, are very new at this point of time. So as a result, they provide incentive to attract users. In this case, market makers. So on top of market makers earning from providing liquidity, they are earning incentives as well, which generate a much higher yield. Okay, I'm gonna skip this. All right. So some guys have talked about it. Guys like Steve Wozniak and the former CEO of Nasdaq. This is a diagram of what yield farming kind of looks like. You have the providers of capital. So in the past, these are your professional market makers or your banks. But right now, this is me. I can be a provider of capital. If my handwriting is not so bad. So what I do is I lock my capital as liquidity and I'll receive my trading fees and incentive for it. So I lock it into decentralized protocols and liquidity pools. And remember, in decentralized protocols and liquidity pools, right? You have these guys. So for example, some of you might want to buy Badger token, right? So for you to want to buy Badger, for example, you need to go to an exchange in the past. And of course, in the very same exchange, you need to have the guy who wants to sell it. So in the past, it needs to be in a centralized exchange, like trade fee is SGX or NASDAQ, crypto is like Binance. But right now, there are these decentralized finance where me as a provider of capital, I can provide two tokens, right? For example, I can provide Bitcoin and I can provide Badger. So anytime someone wants to buy or sell Badger, they will actually go to my liquidity pool and they will buy and sell on this liquidity pool. I don't have to be there to do the transaction. Why? Because the smart contract or the code is already encoded on Ethereum. So everything is automated. And every time someone buys and sells, I will earn a little bit of trading fee when they use my liquidity pool. So some other examples would be like lending protocols. You can deposit your capital there. And when people borrow your asset from you, you will earn some lending fee on top of that as well. An example, a case study, last year I mined this thing called YFI. So on 19 July, the YFI pool was started. I provided some capital to it. I deployed 15K on 19 July, 50 on 20, 46 on 21, and finally 6,007. So I deployed about 100,000, 122,000 thereabouts. So when I say deploy, I don't mean buy. I just stick it there, meaning to say I deposit it there to earn the tokens in a sense. So what happened is that by 28 July, I exited the pool. So I took back $125. So I earned a little bit by selling. And I kept 7.7 YFI. So this is the incentive token that I earned. Based on the price during that time, okay, so I earned about 3,000 plus interest and I earned 7.7 YFI then. So on 28 July, 7.7 YFI is worth $23,800, which means that my capital returned me 22% in 1 week. Okay, 7.7 YFI was worth 23,000 during that time. So basically, 23,870 divided by 7.7. So basically, 1 YFI in July was valued at $3,100, and I had 7 of them. Yeah. Now, okay, let me come back to show off this a little bit. Do you guys want to take a guess how much is a YFI token right now? Do you want to guys take a guess how much is one YFI token right now? Let's put in the number. So it's about 6 months ago. Okay, 6 months ago, one YFI is $3,100. Y'all guess how much is it? Wow, everyone very, very optimistic. So anyway, right now, YFI is $38,236. Yeah. So the tokens I have currently is valued at $294,000. If I kept it lah, I sold quite a lot of it already. I only kept about two point something of them. But if I didn't sell, it would be worth 294,000 today. So I would have gotten back 200% yield on my capital. But it's okay. That's yield farming for you, right? Lucky I didn't sell all. And of course, there are many other yield farms that I can actually join. Yeah. So one final thing I would say before I go over to Q&A is some of the risk of yield farmings that are out there. Smart contract hacking risks, right? These are new protocols. You can potentially lose all your money from it. System design risks, right? So the incentive can be gamed. I myself have joined some where I could game the system a little bit, or I can be on the winning side because I understand how the game is played. There are also liquidation risks, as well as bubble risks, as well as key personnel risks. Okay, so so all these, right, falls under the category of decentralized finance, and I believe that after Bitcoin, the next development that institutions will be interested in is probably going to be DeFi, however you pronounce it. So in 2020, it is widely recognized as the year that the institutions begin to buy Bitcoin. And there are early signs that Ethereum will also receive additional interest because Ethereum will have ETH futures in early 2021. Okay. There are also signs that institutions are walking a path that starts with Bitcoin, leads to Ethereum, and probably eventually warming up to decentralized finance. So I'm not a fortune teller, and I'm purely just guessing. So please, if the institutions don't adopt your DeFi tokens, please don't come and ask me, Chris, what happened. It is just what I feel, what I think, right? What a natural progression of how I see things. One example of something that supports why I have this view is that during a panel, Morgan Stanley's digital asset head says that some of the technology from this DeFi phase can certainly be utilized in a more regulated way. So anyone who's in the cryptocurrency space right now, they know of this category called decentralized finance, and they are studying it. So yeah, I think that is how things will begin to move. Let me close by saying this. In 2020, Bitcoin is the year the institutions arrive. Here are some of the notable investor disclosures that happened. May, PDJ says that Bitcoin is the fastest horse in this environment. Raoul Paul calls Bitcoin the world's best trade. October. Went up. November. Duncan Miller discloses Bitcoin position. And then after that, towards December, Guggenheim files GBTC amendment. So we have seen this in the early days. It is the techno libertarians that dabble into Bitcoin from 10 cents all the way to $1. After it reached, $10. After it reached $10 in 2012, that's where the early adopters came in. Then in 2016, the retails began to speculate, pushing Bitcoin all the way up to 20,000. And in 2020, this is where the institutions came in. And we are now sitting at about 40K Bitcoin. Yeah. So cool. All right. So I think that's the presentations I have. I think I will be doing a question and answers right now. So if you have any questions, I would like you to ask. But just before I do that as well, if the stuff I said is intriguing to you, however you feel that it's really complicated and you want to learn more about the basics of Bitcoin, as well as some strategies, is there a place where you can go to learn about it? I'm not sure if do you have any of these questions in mind, but I basically do some introductory classes, some previews about what Bitcoin is. If you are interested to join one of these introductory class, we call them a cryptocurrency masterclass. Can you type in the word interested? If there are some of you guys that are interested, I will direct you a link to where you can actually register for it. Okay, so if you are interested to attend one of these introductory master classes, can you type in the word interested? Then I will show you how to join, and then after that, I'm happy to answer your questions. Okay, so I call it a Will Profits seminar. Yeah. All right. So I see some of you guys has interested already. So what you can do now, right, is that I'm going to post a link, okay? So I'm going to do this cryptocurrency masterclass. We call it a Whale Profit Seminar. And then you can actually join with this link. And in it, I will talk about 3 systems for successful cryptocurrency investing. I will go through one of the use cases for Bitcoin, not a narrative, but one of the use cases. And also I can talk a little bit more about altcoins, how altcoins come about. So those of you who are keen, you can actually go to this link right now. Maybe I will post it.
They have the link. I already posted that for you. So you should see the Whale Profit Seminar link on the right-hand side of your screen. If you're using a desktop and if you're using a mobile, it should be at the bottom of the screen. You should see the Register Now button. Are you guys able to see it? All right. I'm already posted there already. And let me just post the link on the chat box as well so that you just make sure that everybody can see it. Okay. And just post it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you should be able to see it on the chat box and on the button as well. So the button is a Google form. Please, if you are interested, Chris, the first session is on the 18th Jan, right?
Yeah, so first session is going to be on 18 Jan, which is quite soon.
Yep.
You can sign up for it. It is there's no cost to it. It is a great way to get introduced and get started in crypto.
Okay, so once you fill the form, right, they will get in touch with you all the details. Okay, very simple.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thanks. So I'll have a little bit more time with you guys then. We'll have another session where I can really go back to the basics and I can build some of the use cases and talk about some systems which I have used for my cryptocurrency investing over the past few years. Okay, so after you have registered, right, guys, after you register for Real Profits, don't need to go yet. I still have about, I think 20-30 minutes with you guys. I want to answer some of the questions that you have. Sorry, you're saying?
Yeah, what? So you have 20 minutes, good for some Q&A session with guys.
So Joshua asked, is it a webinar or physical? Right now it's all webinar lah. We cannot have big classes, and I think I prefer to do a webinar. I can share my screen. Okay, so CK has a question. Amazing sharing. Can I understand how can one participate in DeFi staking is fully subscribed on Binance? So CK, for staking, right, is a big world. For Binance, it offers one form of staking, but it's what we call CDF, centralized decentralized finance. So you actually deposit money onto Binance, and then from there, you can actually join in certain distribution of their token. So for Binance, you just need to be quick. If not, you'll be fully subscribed. Yeah, that's the only way to go about it for Binance. Marcus asks, what is ETH potential compared to Bitcoin when it comes to target price? So that's really tricky, Marcus, because Ethereum is more useful. Ethereum is more advanced, but Bitcoin is kind of like the most widely known. And as institutions come in, they will first come into Bitcoin usually, or even investors, they usually come in first to Bitcoin. And from there, they learn about others. So it's kind of like a rite of passage. And I don't really like to give price targets lah, because I find that people take what I say very, very seriously sometimes. So I'll share my opinion, okay? I think that usually when Bitcoin runs up, it always goes up really fast and everyone's focused on Bitcoin first. But over time, when people who invest in Bitcoin make substantial returns from it, the natural psychology would be to think, let me try to diversify. Let me buy maybe a smaller cap cryptocurrency. So they learn, they will learn certain things, how to invest, what to look out for. Or there's this thing called market cap for crypto. Or, smaller market caps have bigger potential to grow because less funds you go in. So they learn all these things. And usually it flows down to altcoins, including Ethereum. So right now, as a market cap, Ethereum is a lot smaller than Bitcoin, number one. Number two, Bitcoin's all-time high is 20K, 20,000. It broke in December and it's doubled since then. Ethereum's all-time high is 1,004. It hasn't reached its all-time high yet. So that's what I'll say lah. Then from there, you try to infer what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So I try and imagine how the funds will flow. Once again, it's my opinion. It's not financial advice. Chris, picture a person. Sorry?
Participate in yield farm.
Hmm?
How to participate in yield farming.
I, I can't show you in 5 minutes. Yeah, there's too many layers in yield farming. It's kind of like learning, like it's kind of like me introducing surgery, and you guys are learning biology, and then suddenly you want to do the surgery. You can't. You need to build up your knowledge first. So you need to first be able to know how to buy and sell. You need to be able to know how to send and receive crypto. You need to be able to know how to interact on the Ethereum blockchain using a wallet like MetaMask. You need to know what's MetaMask. You need to understand what are stable coins. You need to understand what are various different protocols. Then you need to find out what are the new protocols, and then you need to find out the token economics behind the new protocols. Then you finally find out how to participate in all these new protocols to do your farming. So it's a lot of layers to go through, and I can't show it to you right now, like in 5 minutes, how to participate lah. Yeah, but you can try to explore the CD fee, like the Binance kind. For Binance, that kind, all you need to do is click a few buttons, know what coins to buy, and then click to stake it, for example. But the actual yield farm, it takes a bit of time to explain, and there are a lot of considerations. Yeah. So I say Alex cannot talk about that.
Your question, not my question.
Oh, okay.
Not a question for you. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's one question that's asking, what are your thoughts on DeFi like ZIL, ZIL?
Is ZIL DeFi? ZIL is not DeFi. ZIL is an altcoin. It's a platform coin, so it's kind of like Ethereum, and they're trying to make like a upgraded Ethereum where it's faster, you can process more transactions. I mean, I made quite a bunch on ZIL. I think that they are legitimate. Feels like quite a strong team. Just that in the bear market till now, they haven't really like come up with a great product market fit, meaning to say they haven't come up with a product that people are using, or they haven't been able to attract the level of brain power and the level of developers that Ethereum had attracted. That's my only concern. But does it have potential to buy? Well, I would say it's definitely not a scam coin. And as Bitcoin goes up, as the entire market goes up, I don't see why Zilliqa will not go up in price as well. That's my thoughts on ZIL.
Okay, so another question is, what's the future for Ripple?
Probably not great.
Okay.
You can trade it lah. I mean, it moves quite a lot, like 20%, 30% a day. You can trade it. But I've never liked Ripple. I've never told anyone. I usually tell people not to hold it and invest long term. And with the recent events that's happening around Ripple, the lawsuits, I think, or something to do with the SEC, it just makes it a even riskier thing to do, to hold it. So I probably wouldn't hold it, but I might trade it. I mean, I wouldn't touch it lah, but if you want to trade it, you can trade it, but don't hold.
And Derry is asking, what is your view of the Facebook Libra?
But it's not out though. So, I mean, unless it's out, I can't really have a view on it. Libra is going to be tied to the value of a basket of currency. It's probably like a stable coin that is pegged to various different currencies around the world. I don't see how it can go up a lot in value, but if it's successful, and especially if perhaps it's built on, let's say, the Ethereum blockchain, it would probably make a really good complement to decentralized finance, or even to that particular blockchain. So for example, right now, everyone just sells to the US dollar if they want to go risk off. Maybe in the future, when I want to go risk off, I can sell to the Libra coin because I know that it's pegged to a basket of currencies. So it's kind of like currency neutral. And if I don't want, but it wouldn't shoot up in value, you see, for Libra. It will just be tagged to a currency like Sing dollar. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on it. It'll probably help the ecosystem, but it's probably not an investment per se. Just a stable coin.
Wing is asking, what is your opinion on NFTs and insurance coins?
Wow, that's high level question, man. NFTs. For those of you who are wondering, NFTs are non-fungible tokens. I don't know what is insurance coins. Do you mean tokens that are built around insurance protocols like Nexus Mutual? So if you could clarify that, that helps. NFTs, it's hot. People are really talking about it, but I personally don't see value in NFTs. Like, it's just an image on a screen for me. And will people really buy it? Maybe. It's kind of like Magic the Gathering, the Black Lotus card where it's worth a lot over time. You can probably buy it, but that then would be you buying a collectible. So it's like you buying a Black Lotus. You look at it through a different lens. I don't know if how you can translate that into an investment thesis. So that's my thoughts on NFTs. Like if you want to buy the NFTs itself, it's like you buying a collectible, like you buying a Hello Kitty set and see whether you can sell it in the future. That's how I view it. I think perhaps in future people can build a lot of cool stuff around NFTs. Like I think people are using NFTs to do certain insurance protocols. But then once again, that adds value to the insurance protocol. They're just using the NFT. You are not really benefiting from buying the NFT. So once again, the only thing you can buy from NFT are the collectibles, like a Hello Kitty set. Yeah. Or like football club tokens, that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's okay, but I'm not sure about it. Not that excited. Okay, yeah, that's what I have on it. Are you there, Alex?
Yes. So Pauline is asking, will you teach yield farming in your whale profit seminar?
No, I don't teach yield farming anywhere. Not yet, anyway. Right now, I don't.
Okay. Let me see. You want to go through some of the questions as well?
Me, is it? Where
Yeah.
are you reading your questions from? Is it the chat?
Yeah, in the chat. Some can be quite technical also.
Okay, I kind of already scrolled up already. So if you asked earlier on, right, I might miss your question already.
So Charles is asking, will CBDC be bridged with cryptocurrency for cross-border payment? If so, which crypto?
I don't know. What is CBDC?
I also not very sure about that. So yeah, I thought you know.
Central bank digital currency. Okay. The question is, what are your thoughts on central bank bridging with crypto for cross-border payment? I have no thoughts on it, Charles. Yeah. So, yeah, no thoughts of it. I haven't think about it at all. So, no comments. Yeah. I'll go to the next question. Okay. CK again. The lucky guy who get to answer 2 questions. Okay, one more question. How long do you plan on holding Bitcoin? 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? I'm curious. I don't have a time target. I have a profit target. So I always scale out on my Bitcoin holdings. Right now at 40K, I'm probably about a quarter to my ultimate exit. So I'll scale out until a point where I have an ultimate exit, and I'll probably sell at least half, or if not majority of it, to get financial security, super financial security and comfort. Next question, where best to buy and trade crypto? In Singapore, I use tokenized exchange. You can use your Binance.sg, CoinHako as well. Mr. Teo asks, what is your view on Celsius Network versus BlockFi versus Crypto.com for earning interest? There are so many dimensions to the question, including the amount of interest, the type of crypto, the level of security. So you have to be specific. But among the three, I would say I like crypto.com the least. Celsius and BlockFi are both okay, with BlockFi being the most safe based on their institutional backing. KK were central banks around the world kill crypto. I don't know. It's impossible to predict the future. GC asks, how can I take part in yield farming on Binance? Please share your personal account aside from ETH. So again, it's a big question. On Binance, there are a few options for you to take part in. They are all categorized as yield farming. You will have to go through those yourself if you want to. If not, you can maybe go and search for like a guide on it. The next altcoin, once again, is a prediction. I think that decentralized finance still have the most usefulness in terms of the stuff that's being built. So coins like Aave, like SNX are really popular and considered blue chip. Those are probably the ones that you can look at. Yeah. Next, Ali Zalkafi, sorry, asked me what are my views on Stellar. I don't have too much views on it. My impression on it is mildly positive, so it's towards mild positive side. But I have not read about it in a long time. I don't know what has happened to it. What are the updates? I don't hold any of it. How large portfolio size in terms of percentage would you suggest for crypto? If you are new, I think you start with 10%. Thoughts about free mining like Pi Network. I think Pi Network is potentially a Ponzi, so just be careful about Pi Network. 80 to 90% sure it's a Ponzi. Victor asks, is Satoshi a real person or institutional created? It is not a real person. It is an unknown. So nobody still knows who he is. What are some altcoins you recommend? I talked about it earlier. You can probably look at SNX and Aave. These are the more mainstream ones for DeFi. You can probably look at the bigger exchange coins as well, like Binance. Those are probably safe. Yeah. Is ETH also scarce in the market? In short, I think the scarcity is there, but it's different from Bitcoin because Bitcoin has a maximum cap, whereas Ethereum is based on velocity. So there's an inflation rate, but I think that is being spent faster than being produced. Bet and Tron can invest. Wow, a lot there, Alex.
Yeah, I think we can't go on so many questions, but this means that you see a lot of things you don't know, right? So you should learn more from Chris. So can you just share again, Chris, what will you be sharing during your Will Profit seminar?
Okay. So
Just
anyway, I just want to let me finish answering Richard's one. I don't hold back and I don't hold Tron. Yeah, I think they are liquid enough for trades. But I am slightly towards negative in holding them. Yeah. So I will talk about this is the biggest thing. I'll talk about 3 systems that you need for successful crypto investing. I'll talk about one of the use cases for Bitcoin, and I also share a little bit about how maybe altcoins can come about. But I think the main thing that I'll spend the most time on is the first 2, 3 systems for successful crypto investing, as well as use case for Bitcoin. Am I sharing screen?
yes.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I think there are a lot more things to learn about cryptocurrency. So these do sign up for Chris Will Profit seminar. You guys should see the link on the right hand side of your screen, and if you're using a mobile, at the bottom of the screen, right, just click on it. It's free. It's free. So the next session is on the 18th of January, which is coming up soon. So just click on the register now button on the screen, and after the 18th Jan, what is the next session? It's 22nd Feb, right?
Let me have a look.
I think so. Okay, never mind. But there are 2 dates for you to choose from. Doesn't matter. All right. So just register interest funds, and you shall attend his class. I think there are a lot more things to learn from Chris. Okay. So yeah, as mentioned, there are a lot of things that we cannot answer everything over here in this short 1.5 hour session. So feel free to register for his session once more. Okay, so before we end off, right, I just want to thank Chris for your sharing once again. And yeah, so today is the last session for today. And tomorrow, right, tomorrow we are going to be starting at 10 a.m. and Boris will be the first speaker. He'll be sharing with you 5 trades for 2021 that could pay off big. All right, and one last thing, let me just share with you my slides also over here. Okay, and our next Market Insights Virtual Summit, all right, that's going to be held on the 27th and 28th of March. And please register through the link over here, bit.ly/RAYNERTEO2021. Basically, it's /RainerTeo 2021. Okay, so, and yeah, and the people who are going to sign up today and tomorrow, then will get access to Colin Sells, right? Free webinar also that's worth $697. How to look for insider buying, right? So if you pre-register interest for this Market Insights Virtual Summit in March, you'll get access to this webinar on how to look for insider buying. So yeah, once everything is done, we will send you the details about this webinar, special webinar by Colin. Okay. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. And for tomorrow's link, right, you should receive them in your email as well. And for the replay, right, there'll be replay for the today's session and tomorrow's session. Give me some time to upload all these videos, and once the replays are ready, I will send an email to update you guys. And the replays will be available for 48 hours after the summit has ended, which means tomorrow the summit is ending. So until Tuesday to watch all the replays. So fret not. So if you miss any session or if your connection is a bit bad, you missed out some session, no worries. You can go watch the replays later on. Okay. So thank you so much again. And thank you for attending today's day 1 session. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And thank you, Chris, for your sharing once again. I'll end the session.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye.